In how to use the university's databases, I'm going to walk you through the various steps of how to access articles. Okay, in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to get to the university's databases and how to use the databases once you are there to locate articles. So open up your browser to any specific page. I just happen to have it open right now to our home page. But what you would basically do is type in www.usj.edu, and then afterwards, to get directly to the library, type in library, and that will take you right to the library. Once you're in the library, what you want to do is search the collection. When you arrive at this page, you could either use this option, Research Databases, or this one, Research Databases. Okay, now at this page, we have a bunch of tabs. We just need to click Education. We're taking an education course. And then scroll down and select EBSCO and ERIC. This will take you into the database for using EBSCO and ERIC, and we'll type in here what would be an appropriate search term for our topic. Very often you have to try a few different terms to get at what you're really looking for. So let's say I am interested in digital literacy, and as I type it, it also gives me some other options. I'm just going to type digital literacy, and I really am only interested in digital literacy in elementary schools. Okay, I'll just go elementary school. Down here, it is very helpful right away to click Limit to Peer Review. Otherwise, I think you're fine on this particular screen, and hit Search. And depending on how many search terms you turn up with, you could decide if you need to refine your results. Receiving 35 results is actually excellent. Of course, you don't need 35 articles, so what you'd want to do is scroll down, look for articles that are written primarily within the last 5 years. If you need to go back a little further, that's okay, but if you start to go back too far, the research will be dated. Now, some of these articles, as you're looking at these short descriptions, will give you a feel if you're interested in using those articles. So I'm scrolling through here, and I found this one. It actually has third graders right in the title, and it's about digital storytelling. I'm also noticing it was written in 2016. It's from the Journal of Elementary Education, and it's telling me it's an action and research study. It does look like something I possibly could use. I could either click here, which would give me an abstract, or I could click here and get the full article. So I'm going to click right there, and the article is going to open. And before I do anything else with the article, I'm just going to skim it briefly. There'll be a longer abstract there. By the way, it's also giving some key terms which you can possibly use later on when you're doing searches and looking for other terms to use. So although you're not seeing it on my screen right now, but when you're in the database, you will see on the right-hand side some options. The first one would be to save it to your Google Drive if you have it opened. The second one allows you to print immediately. And the third one allows you to email it to yourself. One thing I do suggest, in case for some reason or other you decide to print it and your printer's not working, or you decide to email to yourself and it doesn't go through, I suggest writing down the title of the article and the authors. Now, as I'm looking at this, I do notice it was written in Turkey. I'll probably want to skim it and see if I really still think it's relevant to the kind of educational environment that I'm in right now. So let's assume it is, and then I'll possibly pick up another article for you to also see if that works. So what I would do at this point, even though you're not seeing it here on my screen, is, like I said, I could put it on my Google Drive, I could print it, or I could take the icon that's showing when you go into the database to email it to yourself. So again, notice when you get the email from yourself, it's going to tell you where it's coming from, and in here you would type your email address, and then you would type any other information you might want to see when the email comes up. Something in the subject line would be very helpful, so when you receive your email, you'll better know why you're receiving it. Notice over here, it allows you to determine a citation format, and we use APA in our course. But if for some reason or other when you're searching the database, if it's not defaulting to it, you can use these arrow keys to scroll through and work with finding APA. I'm going to go back to the results list and look around and see what else I might find that looks of interest. Okay, so again, we're just scrolling here. I'm going to just for now pick another one that looks like it could be a possibility. This one's a little on the older side, so I'm going to skip it. Notice I'm not going to bother with it. Now this one is 217, and it's from Literacy Research and Instruction. And it looks like it could be a possibility. It's case study research. So let's take a look at that one. Again, we got the full text this time. So we'll open it up. We'll have an opportunity to skim it. Okay, and this does look like it could again be a possibility. Now the screen I'm looking at right now, over on the top, I'm actually seeing an icon to print it. It's going to vary what options you get in terms of what you can do, whether you, so you just have to play around with the database and fool around and see what you get here. So that's really the basics of it. I've just kind of, in case it comes upside down, you can keep using some arrow keys to turn it to the right direction. And I also have an option here to download it. Okay, that is really the basics of using it. If your search wasn't working, obviously you could hit the new search button and try some other terms. Again, I do want to remind you when you're searching to use limit to peer review. And you have some other options here also. Okay, that really is the basics of using the University of St. Joseph's database and searching into EBSCO.